Take the Leap is the podcast where we get real about the roller coaster that is entrepreneurship and life. Sure, some folks make running a business look like a walk in the park, but let's be honest, it's more like a wild ride through a theme park with a lot of unexpected twists and turns.
Join us, your co-hosts, Ashlan
and Tory,
as we spill the beans on our own real-life experiences and shine a spotlight on some amazing guests. From the highs of success stories to the lows of epic failures. And hey, we'll even throw in some cringe-worthy, laugh-out-loud, embarrassing moments for good measure.
So buckle up and tune in every Tuesday and Thursday for a dose of raw, unfiltered truth about what it's really like to chase your dreams and build a business.
Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just dipping your toes into the startup world, we've got something for everyone. Even if it's just to make you think, wow, I'm glad I didn't do what they did.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Take the Leap podcast. Today, Tori and I are going to debrief the conversation we had with returning guest, Nell Taylor. And so I think one of the biggest things that we got from that conversation was just that there are so many factors that can be out of your control as an entrepreneur. Nell was sharing how they have had to completely pivot since DEI and federal funding at nonprofits is basically being like shredded right now. Like our country is majorly under attack, and there are a lot of factors that are basically making everybody have to change the ways that they're doing things. I had shared that I had a client that I cut my rate with them in half just to help them through the moment. And, I realized that I am like in a very privileged place where that is possible for me. And so I think, as entrepreneurs, we have to be ready to adapt and pivot at any moment in time, especially as stuff that is beyond our control starts happening in the world, and really making that a skill that we're ready to do. And as well. And, for myself personally, I've made lots of pivots since I started my business. Like generally everything is the same. But, sometimes you talk differently about what you do. Sometimes you shift your offerings slightly because whatever you were doing before is either not quite what they need, or I've realized, and I'm actually remembering back from what our very, very first conversation with a guest this season, where Naomi Hathaway said, like, our just good enough is good enough. And so we may feel, and I feel like women do this often, like we just throw a bunch of stuff in there because we're like, oh my God, I want to do a really good job and make it perfect and all of that. But it's just like, could you do just what's essential for a project or something like that, so that you are not spending so much energy in something as well. So I feel like I've been rambling a lot.
No.
What do you think, Tori?
All of that is so true. I think we said this in the episode, but I'm going to say it again. There are so many factors, or there are just so many things that are just so out of your control as a person living your life and as an entrepreneur. And if you don't learn as an entrepreneur that you can't just sit there and let things happen to you and not respond and not, come up with other plans, you're probably not going to survive. I think one of the biggest things about being an entrepreneur is you just have to learn to be okay with things that come up, and be okay with being a little uncomfortable at times, and being okay with pivoting. And that doesn't mean that you need to like react in every situation. It just means that you kind of need to be prepared. And with so many things out of our control, just like all of a sudden DEI is under attack, so anybody who is working in that space is probably having a difficult time right now. There is also, we talked about this on a recent podcast, someone you knew who started an event venue or an event company in 2020, right before the pandemic hit. Like, there are just so many things that are outside of our control that we can't even predict. Some of them we can, but a lot of, and you have to be willing to kind of just roll with the punches. And at the end of the day, that is the like one thing that I guarantee you will happen is that if you open your own business, you become an entrepreneur, things are not going to go the way that you plan them to. That's the one guarantee I can give you. And you have to be able to problem solve through that and figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah, evolution. And I'm not that far into it, but I picked up that book because I think Dusty had mentioned it in her episode, Good to Great. And it goes through all these different companies that like evolved, right? When shit happened, like they did have to adjust. And you know, small businesses are not the exact same as those large companies, but all of those large companies started like we did from scratch. So
Right.
depending on how big you want to grow, depending on where you want to take it, there are many lessons to be learned from the changes and the pivots, you know, that other companies have had to make. And you could even mirror some of them, you know, or figure out ways that you could apply that knowledge to your own business as well.
Absolutely. And kind of in that same vein, being able to evolve what you do and your offerings that you provide. I mean, even just from day one of me starting, the services that I offer are very different. Like, I'm still in marketing. I'm still very much talking about the same things that I was talking about before. But I realized that I was offering things in the beginning that were not serving me very well. I kind of didn't know exactly what I wanted to offer. So I kind of became like a catch-all of everything. And I offered everything and I gave all of myself, just like you were saying, you know, you don't always have to give 100%. I was giving 110% into everything. And I was trying to be everything to everyone as if I was in their business from day one. And that was not sustainable for me. And so I kind of scaled back. I'm like, what do I actually want to do? Like, I get to make this. I get to make these decisions. And I evolved. And honestly, if you ask me again in a few years from now, I'll probably have evolved again because that's just how things work. You know, I might be in like doing a lot in social media today, and that might not be as relevant in a couple of years from now. I might be working a lot with nonprofits, but then in specific industries, and maybe that kind of changes too. It just kind of depends on, I mean, there's just so many factors that we can control. And again, kind of paying attention.
Yeah. Well, I think having clarity, right, around what it is that you do and don't do is always really helpful. And yeah, and knowing that, you know, what you have always done might not be what always is going to be really helpful.
Exactly. And that could be because of external factors, but it could also just be because you as a person have grown beyond what you originally decided to offer, or your values have changed, or your priorities have changed. You know, like I became a parent, you know, into a few years into my business. And that changed a lot of what I could provide and what I could give to my clients. And it also changed my desire. Like, I didn't want to work 60 hours a week. Like, I went from working 60 hours a week for someone else to 60 hours a week for myself. And now that I'm a parent, not only do I just not have that luxury of working that much anymore because I don't have the time, but I also don't want to because I want to be with my kid.
Totally. You don't, I mean, he's pretty awesome. He's pretty fun.
He's cute, and he knows it.
Oh yeah, that little lady killer.
He knows it. I love him. So yeah, gotta evolve.
Gotta evolve and be ready to evolve. And then like the last thing that we kind of want to cover in reaction to this episode was just the importance of community and building community. We are not going to shut up about this, so don't hurt us for, don't yell at us for bringing this up always. But when you build that community and you build that support network, it allows you to live more authentically in your values, because if you can find other people who are aligned with that, like we'll continue to talk to them or to talk about them. Tori and I just recently joined a group that that is calling themselves the Commonwealth. We're building a community that wants to support each other as business owners, who wants to share resources, who wants to help each other, do better and grow. That was something that I think Dusty had said in her episode too, like, all I want to do is like make money with my friends, like who thought that we could just make businesses where we make money doing the things that we love with the people that we really enjoy. And so, find your people, find your tribe, find your group. That could be with us. We do still have the Take the Leap community out there as well. But, if you need support, it starts with that inner group first and can kind of grow from there. But we all need that connectedness to each other. And especially now when there's so much that feels really negative that is happening in the country. Like I was just talking to a friend the other day who lives in LA, who was just saying that like it's so crazy with all like the ICE raids and things like that. And I've been hearing a lot on the news about that. But then I've also seen really great like community building around like sharing with people, like to know their rights, giving warnings to folks who, are undocumented, and all these different things, where I think we need to remember, for all that is getting very big media coverage around there, about the current administration that we have in the United States, and what they're doing to remove and take away a lot of people's rights in this country. We as individuals still have a lot of agency and choice to help the people around us and to support the people around us, and just say, not my president, not what I voted for. I can do things differently. I can live my values, and I cannot participate in fact, I'll just flatly say it, not participate in fascism, and continue to support democracy. So,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. All right, friend. What is your win for this week?
Yes. So my win for this week is that I have been working out regularly.
Yeah.
I we're in an accountability huddle, if you will, with Mary. And we've been checking in with each other to make sure that we stick to our goals of working out regularly. And the thing about this year so far about having a toddler is that someone in my family has been sick on a rotating every other week basis. And so I feel like I start a workout plan, and then I stop, and then I start, and then I stop, and then I start, and then I stop. And I'm very involved with my mom workout group. But again, it's just because we've all been sick. And so finally, I feel like I've been back on track, and I've been consistently back on track for the last bit, and I'm feeling really good about that. So that is my win for the week. What about you?
I joined my local library, so I can stop buying books online, and I can also start to activate around my Read Harder challenge. But yeah, speaking of community, it's so nice to like feel connected. Like my goal this year, now that we're in a house, we're in Vegas, is to feel connected and grounded here. Like I still love all my Portland people, all my Oregon folks, but yeah, if I feel like if this is going to be the home, then I've got to spend time building here. Yeah. And they don't tell you that when you move to an area much later and you have your own business and you're not working, like you're not going to school, you're not working like in a company, it can be hard to make friends and build community. And so I am still kind of working on that, but I feel like a good a good first step is just like leveraging community services down here as well. So, yeah.
I love that.
And then what is your do better for this week?
Yes. So my do better. So, okay. So I've been working out, but we have been so insanely busy. And even though we've been like meal planning and meal prepping and all that stuff, it's been a double effort between my husband and I to like get all the groceries, get, all the meals together. And we've been kind of defaulting into like, let's just get fast food, or like, like I'm so tired, don't feel like cooking, or you're tired, like,
Yeah.
there's a time and a place for that. My body does not respond well to fast food and certain types of food. And we've been doing it more than just a special occasion or like donut night. And I've been really feeling it in my body. So even though I've been working out, I haven't because I've been doing that. And I'm not saying I'm not going to go with like it's super unhealthy and like I shouldn't be doing it. It's just my body doesn't feel good. I don't feel like I'm myself. So do better is to start making some changes so that, because I was doing really good about making like really easy homemade meals so that I can easily eat the things that made me feel good. And so I kind of want to get back to doing that so that I feel better.
Oh, totally. My husband and I are guilty of that. We will fully grocery shop, bring everything home, and then eat out. Like the effort was the grocery shopping and just like, yeah. It makes it easy.
And there's a time and a place for it. And I feel like sometimes you just want to like go out and be social. Sometimes you just don't feel like cooking and you just want to have some takeout. But for us, it was like the convenience of it and the price, which caused us to do like very, very, I'm not going to say unhealthy, but just, like Taco Bell gives me bubble guts. And I know this every time. So, it's like weighing the pros and cons of like, yes, Taco Bell's fucking amazing, but I'm going to be on the toilet for like 10 hours straight after. So do I need this? No.
Yes. The later consequence of the choice needs to be weighed for sure.
So now that I've given y'all that TMI.
Too much.
Ashlan, what's your do better for the week?
My do better is to keep my office clean. Like you can't see it, but it bothers me every single time. And I think this weekend is going to be the weekend, or maybe, I have like a deep cleaning weekend coming up when my husband's back in Portland. It's his mom's birthday coming up, so he's going to go back there. So my plan is to spend time cleaning the house and kind of putting everything back into place. And then also doing, I was just telling him about this the other day. I was like, I need to do the official wardrobe transition because it is warm here. So shorts and stuff needs to come back out as well. But yeah, I would just like to get those piles just dealt with and everything like that. So it's one less thing to weigh on my brain.
That's fair. Well, I have faith in you.
Yes. Yeah. I know. I feel like I need to like put it on the big whiteboard and be like, this is just going to happen because it needs to happen. So yeah. Well, thank you, Tori, for another great conversation. And for our listeners, we look forward to being on with you again very soon. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, email us or send us a DM. And we look forward to being back with you for another episode of Take the Leap. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Take the Leap podcast. We hope you found useful takeaways you can apply to your entrepreneurial journey. Subscribe so you don't miss future episodes, and keep in touch and follow us on Instagram. If you have business questions, shoot us a direct message or leave us a comment. We'll try to cover it in an upcoming episode. And visit our website, taketheleap-today.com for more resources like our online course that accompanies this podcast.